everybody, so glad to see you here today. My name is Kelsey. I'm Kelsey Yogi here on YouTube and on Instagram, helping you get strong, getting you fit, getting you ready to enjoy your day because you started off productive and working hard. So today we are going to be working the abs, but today we are going to break some of these movements down, making them a little bit more attainable if you're still beginning your fitness journey. So we have 5 exercises ahead of us. We're gonna take them nice and slow and steady because I really wanna make sure that you're getting that proper engagement and you feel like this is something that you can take on and really do every single day so that you can get strong and take off from there. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is just pelvic tilting. So go ahead and come onto your back. Now this movement may seem very, very basic, but it's so important to really get this posture correct so that all the other ab exercises you do almost forever will be done properly. All right, so what you're gonna focus on is your pelvis. Now there's 2 different types of tilts. When you get that arch in your low back, that duck butt, and you're sticking your tail out, that's an anterior tilt. When you tuck your pelvis underneath you, kind of scooping it, tucking your tail, that's a posterior pelvic tilt, and that's what we're looking for. So this natural arch we have in our back, while that's great, not gonna serve you well during these ab exercises. So this arch, we gotta make it go away. Tuck your tail underneath you and glue your low back to the floor. That's all we're gonna focus on for this first exercise. Let's do it 30 times. So go ahead and lay down. A nice way to start is to put your hands right at that arch. If you feel the arch go away, then you know that you aren't doing it correctly anymore. Now if you're pretty familiar, you can put your hands up overhead, whatever you'd like. So start with just doing a natural arch, tuck underneath. Let it arch naturally, pelvic tilt. Let's do this 30 times. And every time that you tuck your pelvis underneath you and you get that pelvic tilt, I really want you to think of lifting your pelvic floor. So those muscles that you would use to hold the flow of urine, really draw that up and in, helping you gain further strength, further control. And always, as we get that pelvic tilt underneath you, think about that low back gluing to the floor. Now, if you're not sure, just reach your hands down there. There's the arch. Now it's flat. And if you can feel any space, then you're not quite getting it yet. So you really want to feel like there's no space between your back and the floor. Let's do 10 more. And don't underestimate these. This is still, even though it may seem very basic, it's super important. It works those deep, deep muscles in the abdominals near that pelvic floor. Super important for everybody, but especially us women, those of us that have given birth. Such a great place to start. Last one. Let's tuck and hold. See if you can really glue that low back to the floor, maybe holding it for 5 or 10 seconds. And as you hold your low back to the floor, think about pulling your belly button towards your spine and yet still breathing. All right, go ahead and relax. Let that low back just get that natural arch to it. All right, the next one that we're going to do, and the reason why we started with that pelvic tilt first is so that you can really think about it for these next movements. All right, so we're gonna stay on our back and we're gonna put our legs up towards the ceiling. Now, automatically, your low back should stay on the floor because our legs are straight up, but we wanna keep that as we lower the legs. So as you lower the legs, it's natural to want to arch the back and let the belly pop up, and we don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is just lower one leg, and as we lower one leg, we're going to pull the opposite knee in, and that helps to engage those ab muscles. And then we'll switch and do the other side. Think about that low back. All right, let's do 15 on each side, just alternating from side to side. You can keep your arms up and overhead like I have them, or keep them by your low back so you can feel for that arch, so you can feel if your back starts to come up off the floor. Make sure that you are really pointing the toe, that way you can elongate through the leg, and what that is doing is engaging all those muscles throughout your leg to really help them carry a little bit of the weight. Just moving from side to side. Slow and steady. Every time those legs lower to hover, that belly button pulls down and in towards the spine. If this is still really new to you, we want to move smooth and steady Not fast, not rushed, because what's more important is that we do it right than hurrying through it. Awesome job, you guys. So proud of you for taking the time, deciding to take this journey on. You won't regret it. Making that time for you every day is one of the best decisions I ever made. Now, if you feel like as you start to lower your legs, say here, you get that arch, that's as low as you go. You don't have to go down as far. You could just go halfway. When your low back arches, that's when you stop. So if you can go all the way towards the floor and keep the back glute down, go down as far as you'd like. Let's do 2 more on each side. Really thinking about that form. Last one. Very good, nice job, you guys. Go ahead and let the feet come down. Let the back naturally arch, soften the belly. A nice calming breath. All right, we are going to move on to the arms. So rather than working in plank, which is a little bit harder, we're gonna work on forearm plank. So with forearm plank, you still want your elbows to be shoulders width. And you'll know that they're shoulders width by getting the hands down, grab opposite elbow. If you can't grab opposite elbow, move them in closer. And then either bringing the palms down flat, which is a little bit harder, or interlacing the fingers. I like interlacing the fingers if you're still new because it helps you to engage the shoulders a little bit better. All right, once you've got your hands and your arms in proper placement, walk the feet back. And now all we're gonna do is thinking about pulling that knee towards the belly. Push on that back foot, pull the knee in, step it back, and then the opposite side. Now, as you notice, sometimes I drop my head in. That's a nice way in the beginning to really get that engagement, thinking knee towards nose. But if you can pull the knee in towards the belly button and you don't have to drop your head in, don't feel like you have to do that. All right, let's do 30. So 15 on each side. Coming into that proper starting spot. And here we go. Let's start on the right side. Really using those low abdominals to pull that thigh as close as you can to the stomach. Now, a different little variation of this is you could add in a twist, adding the obliques and the transverse abdominals. So it's kind of up to you, and you can do both here. I like all of them, right through center or with a little bit of a twist. Keep pushing out of your shoulders. So I know this is a little bit about the arms, but that's just an added bonus. Plank is such a great way to gain strength. So if you're not ready to do it on your hands, start on your forearms. Let's do 5 more. Last one from side to side. Very good. Go ahead and lower the knees. Sitting down on the shins. Soften out the shoulders. Let the belly relax. You're doing great. Hanging right in there. All right, so 2 more exercises. You guys are doing amazing. We are going to do bicycle crunches. So instead of the standard bicycle crunches where you have to let the legs hover, which can really, you can get that back up off the floor. Let's not quite go there yet. Let's just bring the hands behind the head. Bend the knees, plant the feet, and we're gonna come all the way down to this resting position in between, and then we're gonna crunch, tapping elbow towards opposite knee, come all the way down. Crunching the opposite way, come all the way down. And I like to do it like this way in the beginning because then you are sure that you are taking that low back all the way to the floor, belly button down and in, and you're not losing your form in between because you're getting tired by hovering the legs. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We got 30, hands behind the head. Really get that belly button down and then find that posterior pelvic tilt. And let's go from side to side. So right elbow towards left knee and switch. A nice thing to think about when you are working on your abs is that we exhale as we squeeze. So
Inhaling as we come back. And you know, incorporating the breath along with the movement can be really difficult. And some days I don't always have it in me. And it's nothing that you need to beat yourself up over. It's certainly something that gets easier with time and with practice. What's most important is that you keep breathing. Very common, especially when things are really hard and in the beginning, to want to hold your breath. And what happens when you hold your breath is you lock in that tension, you lock in those negative emotions or that fear or that pain. Instead, let your breath move you through it. You don't have to stay in this place that's uncomfortable. It doesn't have to stick with you. So keep that breath smooth and steady. Exhaling as you crunch. Inhaling as you release. We got 2 more from side to side. Last set. There you go. Go ahead now, soften the belly, let the back relax. All right, good job, you guys. We have 1 more exercise. And this is a version of one of the hardest ab exercises I know, but we are gonna take it and we're gonna make it totally attainable. So that hollow body shape. If you've not seen a hollow body before, it's when you glue your low back to the floor, but then everything else is lifted. And this is a real difficult posture, but nothing triggers those low abs like hollow body. And like I mentioned, most important is you keep that low back glued down. We are going to start with that. So what we're going to do is reach our arms up and overhead, although you can feel for that low back if you'd like to. And then we're gonna keep 1 knee bent, and we're just gonna hollow shape the opposite leg. And we're just gonna go from side to side, holding about 5 seconds. Keep that low back in, keep that pelvis tilted underneath you, tuck your tail, draw that pelvic floor up like you're holding urine, and let's go ahead and get started. Let's hold for 5 seconds, starting with the right leg. Point that toe, reach really tall through the fingertips and through the toes. And let's switch sides. Right foot down, left foot reaches and hovers. Like I mentioned, go ahead and feel free to, is my low back down? Yep, all right. There's the arch, glue it back in. And just going from side to side, 5 to 10 seconds, whatever you can muster. You really want to feel that engagement all through that low belly, through the low back, a little bit through the glutes. One of these, this shape, this hollow body shape is one of the few shapes that really is like everything has to work. You're reaching through the arms, you're reaching through the toes, but it is so much fire for the core. So just early on, getting yourself acclimated to this posture, you are going to be doing yourself a huge favor in the long run. Let's do 1 more on each side. And the last one. And go ahead and release. There you go, guys. So that was your beginner abs exercise video. Hopefully you felt like that was really, really attainable. What I really want to see you take away from this is get that pelvic tilt. Get that low back glued to the floor, used to pulling that belly button towards the spine. Because if you come back and you use my videos, you're gonna hear me say it again and again and again. And instead of thinking like, oh, Kelsey, I know, I want you to be like, Kelsey, I'm nailing it. My low back has not left the floor. I'm feeling super strong. So anyways, very good job today, guys. I'm so proud of you for starting your journey. If you are on Instagram, please tag me at Kelsey Ogi. I really want to cheer you on and see your progress. I know you are going to do amazing in your journey. If you haven't already, make sure that you smash that subscribe and that like. I want to practice with you guys again and again. I'm uploading all the time. I guess that's it for today, guys. Make sure that you drink your water. Have an amazing day. Pass that love on to everybody else. Namaste.